Morning, everybody. How are we all doing? Happy Monday. It's bank holiday. Not in the UK, unfortunately. It's bank holiday in America. So anyway, they won't be around this afternoon. Yes, somebody's asking if I'm live on YouTube. Yes. Right, so it's Monday, new week. Had a lot of stuff happen on Friday. So we're just going to have a look at what happened on Friday, basically, to start off with. Morning, Mumble. Morning, Robert. Morning, Michael. How are we doing? So Trump obviously upset the market again. So he told all of his mates on Friday afternoon to short the market because he was about to crash it. So he's crashed it. And then he's come out over the weekend and basically announced, no, it's okay, don't worry about it, we're all right. So it's going to go back up again. So yes, another manipulation by the orange one to make a load of money for his friends. So we've got a big gap up opportunity on the NASDAQ. Can't complain, made a fortune on that yesterday, on Friday. Brilliant, I was short and that happened. You can't really go wrong. But anyway, so yeah, it's big gap down. A big drop on Friday on the NASDAQ. Undone tons and tons and tons of progress. So we got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days worth of price action wiped out within literally 2 hours. So we've come straight down into the 2-week support, hit it. That's where we finished basically on Friday down at support. We've gapped up this morning. So what he's basically come out and said is kind of the opposite really to what he said, obviously, which was putting 100% tariffs on China. I'm going to cancel all my meetings, blah, 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 blah. And then he's come out and said on Truth Social, actually, you know, China's all right. We don't mind too much. We'll probably have a meeting and sort it all out. So it's the usual stuff. Just can't help but commit crime constantly. I don't know why he's in charge. Anyway, that's not our choice. So it's the American people's choice. It's your fault. So yeah, big drop down, gap up. So one of two things is going to happen today. He's either going to upset the market and we're going to fill that gap, or we're going to return to origin. Yeah. So you've got potential today on the NASDAQ for large movement. The problem is today it's a bank holiday in the US. And now their banks are open. The markets are open. However, there's not going to be a lot of people trading it. So institutions obviously are shut. So whether we can actually get a move today or not, I don't know. If we get nothing this afternoon, tomorrow we're going to get a big old move on it. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with the markets today. So this week, we'll have a look at the DAX quickly before we go and look at the news, see where we are. So DAX, same thing. All markets are the same. You have sectors within markets. So when sectors are sold off, sectors get sold off worldwide, not just in individual indices. So we have the same impact, obviously, with the stock markets. It's basically fear. You dump all your high-risk assets, which are stocks. You buy things like gold, which happened on Friday. So it's the same thing. We're either going to come down, gap fill, or we're going to return to origin. Either way today on the DAX, yeah, it's a profitable trade. What we want to happen is them to decide. So I'm short DAX. So I want them to basically make that decision and move it, not muck about for an hour and then decide to do it ideally. But we'll see what happens. So there's good upside and downside potential today across everything. There's your ADRs. Now, obviously, the ADRs are going to be skewed now because we've had a 300% ADR day put in on Friday. So your ADR 10 is going to be slightly out because of that move, but it is a move. It is part of the average daily range. And when we have increased volatility, the following days tend to also have increased volatility. So if we get a big multi-ADR day today, which I don't think we will, but if we were to get a 200 or 300 ADR day today, it's worth switching your ADR over on the EAs and indicators to ADR 3. So what I tend to do is down here, you've got your ADR, or is it up there? Up there, sorry. Your ADR used for calculations, 10 days, which is 2 weeks. if we get a big over ADR day today, it's worth switching that down to 3, which means you're actually going to start using risk and range sizes in relation to current volatility, which is going to be higher. So it just smooths out that volatility faster for you. And when the market returns back to normal again, you can put it back out to 10. So I'm leaving it as it is for the moment. Stopped out on the, oh no, not quite. Going to stop out on the DAX by the looks of things. Almost stopped out on that first one. There's a lot of volatility this morning, so not unexpected, but yeah, probably going to get a couple of stop outs maybe today. We'll see where we go. So nearly stopped out. Come on, I want to get on with the news. Make your mind up. Stop me out or don't. All right, don't. That's fine. So the news this week, we've got bank holidays. There's no news today, so it's a bank holiday everywhere. Canada, Japan, USA, all off today. So we're going to have reduced volatility or reduced volumes. Now, when you've got reduced volumes and highly volatile markets, you tend to get a lot of slippage. So be prepared today for the potential for a large movement, because there's going to be less liquidity in the market provided by the US banks, which means that if you do go for a move, the market has to reach further to get orders filled, which means you get slippage, which means you get bigger movements, bigger candlesticks, bigger wicks, bigger everything. So if they make a move today, that's what will potentially happen. If they don't bother to make a move because it's all like, wait and see what Trump says next, obviously he has the option to either do it on a bank holiday and screw everybody or not. But anyway, so there's no news today. Tuesday, we've got nothing much either. We've got some news coming out, Aussie, pound, euro, but it's all orange news. Probably not going to do a massive amount, but then will be if it's big, if there are big deviations on forecasts. The forecasts aren't actually out much, so shouldn't really get a lot of movement. We've got Powell speaking tomorrow, and we've got Bailey speaking tomorrow as well. Apart from that, there's no other news. Wednesday, same, no news. Empire State, and we've got Bullock speaking as well. So there's no news this week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. There's nothing to trigger the markets. And it's absolutely typical, because today and this week, we're doing news trading. Couldn't have picked a worse week, could I, to actually do that? I'll cover that in a second. But so Thursday is the main news. So that's where we're going to focus. Now, these events that are scheduled on my calendar at 13:33 are the previous ones that we are missing because of the shutdown. So these are tentative, which means that they're possibly going to happen, possibly not. All depends what happens with this shutdown in the US. So what we have got on Thursday is Philly Fed. We've got the GDP coming out for the pound, which is forecast to be positive, and it should be. So we should get some bullish movement on Thursday on the pound. We've got the Australian unemployment rates coming out. That is forecast to go up, which is going to be bearish bearish Australian dollar. So you can see the numbers are pretty stable in Australia. We haven't had a lot of unexpected forecasts. So I'm not expecting a massive movement on the unemployment rate, but you just never know at the moment. And obviously unemployment change. So then going into the afternoon on Thursday, we have potentially got PPI, unemployment claims coming out, and retail. Whether we get them or not, we'll have to just wait and see. We've obviously missed FOMC. We've missed the unemployment rate. So we're lagging on data for the US at the moment. So we'll see if they come out. I've got a feeling they're not going to with what's going on at the moment. Then we got more talking heads. And then on Friday, there's nothing. Dead again. So it's just one of those weeks where we just really don't have anything happening. So it's the week I chose to do news trading. But anyway, so that's this week. It's all over the place. So Academy this week, this is where we are now, obviously. In 40 minutes, 50 minutes, we're doing the first member stream this week. So setting up your week, identifying opportunities. So what we're covering this week is this, which is the economic news scalping strategy. It's not big. It's not a lot of lessons. There's only 3 in here because there's only a few things you can do around news, but it's about working out how to trade news. So you can see Monday today at 9 o'clock, we've got that one. Wednesday at 9, we're going to be doing the 3 outcomes. And then Friday at 9, we're going to be doing the 3 strategies, basically. So So basically that's what we're doing this week for members. All right. So it's all about news and basically figuring out how to take advantage of all this lovely data and all this lovely movement we get on news events. Yeah. So when you get a news event, you get a move. So it's how do you trade that move? How do you take advantage of the movement, basically? How do you get in and get out, basically? So that's what we're covering this week. So there you go. It's going to be a weird week, I think, this week. Very, very difficult to sort of fathom what's going on. Let's just quickly look at where we are. Yeah, so stopped out on DAX short, flipping long. So flipping long, this is the move I'm kind of expecting today because of what he said on Truth Social about, I think he said, yeah, don't worry about China. It will be fine. Highly respected President Xi has just had a bad moment. He doesn't want depression in his country. Neither do I. The USA wants to help China, not hurt it. Yeah. So basically, if I was Xi right now, I'd be thinking, you arrogant, and I would be ready to do as much as damage as I possibly can, because basically what he's come out and said, the bloke's just had a funny 5 minutes. No, he hasn't had a funny 5 minutes, Donald. But anyway, you're having a funny 4 years. But this is what I'm expecting this morning. He caused this, yeah. So therefore, that is what we would expect to happen, yeah. We've covered in other streams how to trade Trump moves. 99% of Trump moves do that, and then they do that because he opens his mouth, doesn't think, the market reacts and panics. Then the market goes, hang on a minute, what's he on about? And then it goes back to there because most of the stuff he says is utter rubbish, cannot be implemented or will never be implemented. So you just never know, though, yeah? We didn't think he would start a trade war to the magnitude he has, and he did. So sometimes you get big moves, basically, that do actually stick and continue. But this one, we should get that. Now, that's going to leave us with a downside gap. So once we've got that gap fill complete, which is this, basically this gap here, which is the gap down, which is all in one move, but it is basically an unexpected gap down. We're going to push up, fill that, and then potentially we're going to need to come back down and do this. So I can see this week, because we've got low impact news this week and not a lot of it, I can see us being in rotation. So playing highs and lows this week is probably not going to be a bad sort of strategy. NASDAQ, obviously, so this is the Dow. Dow came crashing down. And same thing, we should be grinding back up in Globex. So it's one of those days today where it's worth trading the Globex session because it'll probably just grind away and try and get back up into the origin of that move. I don't think it'll get all the way, but you never know, it might do. NASDAQ, exactly the same play. Yeah, so straight back up. But we'll see. We'll see where we go. You know, the trouble with the market is it's very, very reactive, very scared. Yeah, when there's money on the line and things happen that are unexpected, they just panic and you get all these knee-jerk reactions. This is what we're taking advantage of. So we'll see where we go. ADRs today, we've got a few. So if you look at the metals, those are up to ADR. We're all-time highs again on gold. So gold back up into that stratospheric area. Again, panic, you know, it's you sell something risky, stocks, you buy something solid, gold. Yeah, always the way. So commodities rally on fear, and we are in fear, but that may be that is a knee-jerk reaction, and obviously what we'll get. So is the inverse reaction. So there is potential for this move that we're seeing here to become an uneven M pattern reversal. We are well overdue a pullback on gold, not just from the last month, from the last quarter, for the last 6 months, really, if you look at it. So, you know, we are due a pullback on this leg specifically, and I can't see any reason why we shouldn't come and test the 24, maybe even the 72. So, there's your previous upside resistance. And that is that parabolic leg that we've had put in. So there's an awful lot of downside when that profit take move starts. But obviously, as you can see, gold is just screaming off until Mr. Trump decides to actually do something positive for the US, which he hasn't done since he's got into office. The US economy, just absolutely no reason why it shouldn't continue to drop the dollar, which means this thing's going to go up, because all this is a dollar cross. Dollar goes down, gold goes up. Yeah, gold is kind of like its own currency compared to that. So, continual movement on gold at the minute. The other ones you've got that are ADRs are the Swiss pairs. So, as you can see, the market on Friday took a tumble on the Swiss, everything against the Swiss, because obviously when you pull money out of stocks, you put it into safe havens. Safe havens are the Swiss and the yen. So the yen had a lovely big rally. The Swiss had a nice big rally. Now, if that is over, we're going to undo that. Yep. So opposite moves again. So all these have hit ADR already. This is obviously the market opening up and basically correcting. So these kind of ADRs, you would have had to take an advantage of them on that spike, which it's very unlikely that you would have. So there's not really any ADRs you can trade today at the moment. Aussie New Zealand's the only one really. Again, commodities markets, Aussie New Zealand, all commodity based. So I get the feeling though that probably is going to be the move on this one. However, obviously, if we stay in a fear mode, then that is potentially going to continue to rally. So you've got obviously news affecting the Aussie this week. We've got the unemployment rate coming out. So if that does go up, Aussie is going to go down. So we should hopefully get a move to the downside further on that Aussie New Zealand this week. RSI extensions are all flat. There's nothing. So totally dead at the moment on the RSIs. DAX out to the highs. So we're off. Here we go. Anybody got any pairs or anything they want to look at specifically? Let me know. Morning, everybody else. Joe, was check. Pallades, elevated, chucks. Anyone affected by the crypto flash crash? Anyone that trades crypto? Why are you trading crypto? Why not just trade stable things like stock indices? Because they do the same thing as crypto. By flash crash, I presume you mean exactly what happens on the stock markets. Crypto is just stocks. At the end of the day, it's the same thing. Trade the indices. They're much more stable, much more reliable, much more readable. New Zealand dollar Swiss. And you haven't got whales manipulating them as much as you have with the indices. Saying that, Donald Trump. But somebody sold 150 billion Bitcoin or something. I don't know how people haven't put this together yet, right? Donald Trump controls the stock markets. Yeah. All of his friends have large crypto holdings. Nobody knows who they are. But isn't it funny how when he opens his mouth and the stock market collapses, whales sell their crypto? Who do you think has got the crypto? Donald Trump's buddies. All manipulated. This whole thing is being manipulated by the 1% to generate more revenue for the 1%. The way it works. He has the power to move this thing. So crypto is just another stock index. New Zealand dollar Swiss. So there's your Swiss move there. So obviously safe haven run with stocks. We dump our stocks. We buy the Swiss franc. What we're doing this morning, buying our stocks back, dumping the Swiss franc. So we pump the Swiss franc rather than dump the Swiss franc. So New Zealand dollar Swiss, obviously, at the moment, not really doing a lot, apart from obviously retracing its move. So Swiss franc is strong at the moment. New Zealand dollar actually is more likely weak. But these markets are all over the place at the minute. It's very hard to call anything, isn't it? But trending down, RSI extension to the downside. So you had an RSI extension from a position trading perspective here with the weekly double bottom. That's a 3-week low. which we tapped out of. So that would have been an entry long, an exit. You've had another entry go in on Friday. So yeah, long at the minute. Back to the origin of the move. So coming back up into 150 ADR today, that's where I would take it off, because we are likely to continue this downward momentum. All the time there's fear in the market, you're going to get power in the Swiss. So even though the Swiss interest rate is like nothing, the market will always buy the Swiss franc when there's times of worry, trouble. You know, what's going on in Israel at the moment with this hostage takeover, hostage exchange, it's all going to create fear, because when it goes wrong today, it's going to, you just know it, don't you? When it goes wrong, there's going to be a mass escalation in this. The world is suddenly going to go, oi, you can't do that. There's conflict. Conflict creates worry, risk, fear. Yeah. So you take your money out of places which are dangerous, stocks, you put it in commodities, and you put it in safe havens, Swiss franc. So you're going to get continued strength on that Swissy. The New Zealand dollar at the moment is not doing very well. If you look at the fundamentals on the New Zealand, it's not had a good run. It's not had a bad run, but it's just not very strong at the moment. Yeah, bearish. We've had one bullish news in there, which was retail for the quarter, which is an orange news event. Who cares? So yeah, it's all bearish for the New Zealand at the moment. No reason why that should be strengthening up at the moment, short term. So yeah, same. New Zealand Swiss down. Aussie dollar CAD. So that's a weird move, isn't it? Didn't even look at the Aussie. So yeah, big strong move down Aussie CAD. What was that? That must have been 300 ADR, is it? 1473, yeah. So 600 is ADR. So it's about 250 ADR move on Friday. Everything obviously moved on that because they dumped tons of stuff, and you have to move money around constantly. So if you want to move that much money, you've got to move it everywhere. So yeah, double bottom off the 2-week low. Yeah, I mean, I would be looking for a return to origin. I mean, this is the thing with all these moves. You know, if the members know that everything I look at, we've done a lesson on the two outcomes. Yeah, how to visualize where the market is going. There is always only ever two outcomes from every trade. We did a whole session on it for about an hour and a bit. This is either doing a return to origin or a continuation. Your decision is which of those you want to be on. You have a 50-50 choice. It's going return to origin or it's not. If this is return to origin, you want to be getting out 150 ADR. If it's not return to origin, you want to be looking at shorting this now. But personally, I think this is going to become a V-shaped recovery move because of what he said over the weekend. He basically crashed the market, right? A load of his advisors turned around to him and said, you can't do that. And he went, I did. All my mates are now really, really rich. And you need to come out with a statement to calm and stop the worry in the market. So he comes out and says, don't worry, President Z, and this is the best he can come up with, President Z was just having a bad moment. It's almost like saying, don't worry, Biden was just having a senile moment. It's just derogatory, isn't it? But it's enough to calm the markets. Yeah, he's come out and said, I want to help China. I don't want to hurt them. So you want to put 100% tariffs on them? No, I actually don't want to do that. It's basically what he said. So that would be the expected move. So longing everything that has been undone on Friday. But once you get there, who knows? And don't, you know, you could well be on your way there and thinking, oh, this is a great little trade. And then it'll open his mouth. There's just nothing you can do about it at the moment. This is it. I said it before he came in, and I'll continuously say it for the next 4 years. Trading in a Trump presidency is nothing like normal trading. The market will just go parabolic for no reason because he opens his gob. So you just have to take it on the chin. Michael, you're 5 positions long New Zealand Swiss. How are you 5 long? What's ADR? 41. That's only moved 1.5 ADR. The last RSI extension, I suppose you must have got in on that one, I guess. Yeah, that was probably not enough to get out on, was it? Yeah, so that would make sense. So your average is going to be somewhere around about ADR, isn't it? 200 ADR rather. Yeah. Really tricky price action, this. We didn't do a 50% retracement on that leg. We did 38. Yeah, so this was a flag break. But we did double bottom. And before he opened his gob, it looked like we were going to double bottom in the range and pull back on that leg. But obviously, things changed, didn't they, on Friday? So if you look at the new range that we've got in now here, that is really this area of support here, which we tested multiple times. We have retested it as resistance. Yeah. So best case scenario, I reckon you get up into there, somewhere around a 61 or 50 to 61 retracement at some point. Yeah, same as that. Might be a few weeks away. Worst case scenario, obviously, we just continue market structure, and this is the pullback. Difficult to call that one. You've got no news catalysts on the Swiss. You never get any news catalysts on the Swiss. The Swiss doesn't have news, really. The New Zealand dollar obviously is bearish. So, yeah, it's a tricky one, that one. When we're covering the prop next week, probably. I've got a couple of videos I've got to do before we do that part. Morning, Harold. 5 positions on New Zealand Swiss. Maybe we should stop trading the Swiss. Yes. There's nothing wrong with having a bit of Swiss in the portfolio. But it is, the trouble with forex is forex changes all the time. So you can't have, there's nothing stable in forex because economies change, relationships between economies change. And movement changes, rules change. The yen has always been a carry trade. All we ever do is buy everything against the yen. That was the case until the Japanese intervened. Now it's not the case anymore. Yeah, it's changed. Yeah, things change basically. So you've got to sort of adapt with it. And I stopped trading the Swiss and the yen after the intervention. I stopped trading the yen. Because it's now unknown. Yeah, it's a little bit like saying, "Oh, I've traded forex all my life. Right now, I'm going to trade the stock indices." If you know nothing about it, you're probably going to struggle because you're going to do things wrong a lot when you start doing something new. That is equivalent to what happened here when that intervention went in and the interest rates started to go up for the first time in 20 years for Japan. This changed. So this isn't the normal yen anymore. It's become a different thing. When the Swiss franc peg removal happened, the Swiss became a completely different thing. Yeah. So, when the peg removal happened on the Swiss movement changed completely. Yeah. So stuff changes all the time. So Swiss is always going to be an unpredictable instrument. So always keep the risk on it low. Don't trade all the Swiss pairs. You go and look at the correlation matrix and you'll see why you don't trade all the Swiss pairs. Yeah, they're all going to move the same way. So if you select all the Swiss pairs, CAD Swiss, Euro Swiss, Aussie Swiss, Pound Swiss, US Swiss, I've missed one, New Zealand Swiss. Yeah, look how green it is, how correlated everything is. They all move very, very, very much the same. That's actually hourly, isn't it? Let's look at the daily correlation on those. Yeah. So, 64% of the time they move the same, 84% of the time moving the same. There's the odd one, like the US and the euro, which is low, but that's because you're trading euro US dollar there. Yeah. If you eliminate the common element in the two, you're trading euro Swiss. Sorry, US dollar Swiss. Euro US dollar. Yeah, that's why the correlation is low. But they're very, very, very correlated. 82%, 67%, 68%. So, you've got pretty much 70% correlation. So 70% of the time, when you press the button on two of those, they're going to do the same thing. If you go into drawdown at the same time, you're going into drawdown twice. But have some in there, but pick the lower correlated ones. So something like US dollar Swiss, pound Swiss, euro Swiss. Yeah, they're much lower correlation. Safer. But that changes obviously over time as well. So this is why you need to keep checking this thing all the time. So if you put in maybe 60% correlation, and you pick, if I pick look, all these Swissies in here, if I pick any one of those, by the time you pick the second one, you've just got nothing left of you. Mind you, that's 60% correlation. They're kind of 70, aren't they? So, you know what I mean? Doesn't work. Right, on our way with the DAX, but struggling a little bit. Hey, Samson. Call me by my surname. What are the symbols you trading on your POS-EA? Have you finally built the symbols you want to trade alongside based on your correlation matrix? Yeah. I don't know. I have posted them, but I can't remember. So basically, I've got gold in there as well at the moment. I think I went 65, but it doesn't matter what I'm trading. Trade what you want to trade. There's a basket of 17 you can trade with 70%, 22% average correlation. Take that JPY out. It's no good. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. I am actually trading the S&P 500, but I haven't had a position on it yet because I can't get a pullback. Wouldn't trade oil, silver. So gold I'd leave in there. Yeah, just trade that. Something like that. That's got low correlation. Or depends how aggressive you want to be. I'm trying not to tell what I do is different to what you do. What you do is different to what someone else does. Do your thing. Don't do what I do. I don't have copy trading. I don't allow people to copy my trades because just do what you want to do. I'm not here for 3 weeks for some reason because I've gone on holiday. I've broken my leg. I can't be bothered. Yeah. Don't copy people. Do what you want to do. Pick what your risk tolerance is. The higher you put this, the more risk you're going to have. The lower you put this, the low risk you're going to have. The more risk you take, the more you can make, the more you can lose. The less you take, the less you make, the less you'll lose. Totally down to you what you want to do. But try and get a bucket of 10, 15 symbols max. You won't be able to get much more than that unless you're going with like a super high correlation, in which case then just trade everything. Just drop your risk. But FX, just keep everything correlated. If you can stick an index in there long only. So basically what I'm doing is I'm trading the S&P 500 long only. I haven't had an entry on it yet because it hasn't pulled back. There has been no signal to go long on the S&P 500 yet. Yeah. So I'm trading 80-20 RSI. Actually, I might actually be in. I am in. I'm in. Oh, sorry. I'm trading the Dow. Sorry, I'm not trading the S&P. I'm trading the Dow. So yeah, I'm in on the Dow. I haven't even looked at mine this morning. Yeah, so I'm long Dow. Got in on Friday, one position, which is in profit by 0.17%. There you go. So I got in on the Dow on Friday. So at the moment I'm long Dow long Aussie CAD, short CAD yen, short euro odd, and short on gold. And I'm really hoping this is an M pattern reversal. But I'm not holding that much hope for gold. And, it's one of those things, gold, I've said it many times. Every time I trade gold, I lose. What did I do? Stuck it in a portfolio. Where is it? 6.5% of drawdown. I never listen to my own advice. Pulling back on the DAX. I'm looking to get out at break even. Anyway, at least it's positive swaps. Yeah. Yes. Samson is your surname? I thought it was Lee. No? Why would I put my surname first? I don't know. Some countries do, I guess. But in the UK, no. I looked at Lucid 50k, thought it was a reasonable amount, but the 2k max drawdown is too small. No, it's not. 2k max drawdown in futures is absolutely standard. You won't find any futures firm that's giving you anything more than that. That's standard in futures. Don't forget, futures is totally different to forex, totally different to CFDs. In CFDs, you have a maximum drawdown on your account you can hold overnight. Futures, you can't hold overnight. You have to be in and out same day. It's a scalper. You're a scalper. If you're crap at scalping, do not trade futures because you will lose all the time. CFDs. We're going to cover that when we do this, when we do the prop section. Yeah, CFDs versus futures. Which is best for you, yeah? And the completely different strategies for prop, completely different strategies for futures, completely different strategies for CFDs. It's like chalk and cheese. One is trading binary options. The other one is betting on horses. Yeah, they are totally different approaches to trading. So you will approach them in a different way with different strategies, basically. You can trade certain strategies on both, obviously. You can trade opening range breakout on CFDs and futures. And the advantage of trading opening range breakout on CFDs is if you want to, you can hold overnight. Yeah. But this is the thing, this is, I said on, someone was saying in the Discord group, they're holding a position on the NASDAQ. They were holding a position long on the NASDAQ, which luckily has worked out for them. But, this is the problem. If you trade stock indices, you are going to get these big gaps. Stock indexes gap all the time in CFDs and in futures. So, doesn't look like a lot, does it? But on a 5-minute chart, that's 5% loss. Because on a 5-minute chart on futures, you are trading high risk. You're trading high contract sizes because it's the only way to make money. Well, it's not the only way to make money. It's the only way to hit the prop firm's targets. It's a game. Prop is a game. They give you a game to play. You have to hit their targets. Yeah. As a trader with my own capital or your own capital, you don't have to hit any targets. You trade. You give the market risk. The market gives you back reward. There is no limit on the risk and reward. Yeah. It doesn't work that way. This is, again, what we're going to cover next week when we do this prop one in here, how prop firms work. I'm going to show you exactly what the house's edge is. And it is a casino. They are a house. They have an edge. And you will never beat that edge. There is no one on this planet that I have ever spoken to has ever been paid 3 times by a prop firm and got their 4th. Yeah. They might tell you they're on their 10th payout, but they won't tell you about the 25 failed evaluations and the 25 failed funded accounts. They will tell you they had 10 payouts. I can get 10 payouts of 1,000 accounts. That's easy. Everyone can. But prop firms have an edge. They use this, yeah, to create their edge. They know that when you do this and you do this, you are going to get this. That is a failed evaluation. That is a blown account. That is your end result. You never see that because of that. Yeah, it's all mathematically calculated to mean that you will never hold an account. No one has come to me ever, and I've said it many times, and with an account that they've had. I've been trading with prop for 6 months, not with the same account you have. Yeah, it doesn't work that way, does it? This is why we have this. Yeah, this shows you the statistics. Yeah, shows you what's going to happen. Yeah, you run this multiple times, you're going to get different results every single time. What is each of those in the middle and the right? Failed accounts. What's the ones on the left? Past accounts. Now I've got 6. Now I've got 1. Now I've got 7. Hang on a minute, you had 6. Now you've got 1. Yeah, because I've blown 5 of my funded accounts. Why? Because markets don't allow you to have a continuous winning streak. You have losses, and it's random. That's why you fail. Yeah. That's why they give you £2,000 draw down on the account, because at some point, it doesn't matter if you're the best trader on this planet, you are going to have 10 losing trades in a row, and you are going to hit that, and you are going to lose that account, and you're going to have to start another one. That's the way it works. You won't get more than 2K anywhere. 2K, if a futures prop firm gave you 5K, yeah, they would go bankrupt almost overnight, because if the prop firm gave me 5K drawdown, I would be putting 15 to 20K out of every account, because I can do that. I'm asking for a 4R return on one risk. I can do that, no problem. But you give me 2K, I'm going to struggle to get more than 4, maybe 6K max. Yeah. Can you imagine your business suddenly charging $2,000 for something, yeah, and getting 6,000, getting 3 sales every time, getting $6,000 out of it. And all of a sudden, that flipping the other way, you making 2 for every 6, you're bankrupt. That's the equivalent of a prop firm expanding their drawdown from 2 to 5K. Their edge vanishes. The casino will go bankrupt. It's all smoke and mirrors. The whole thing is smoke and mirrors. Yeah. 50% strike rate, 1.125 risk reward ratio, generates nice alpha. Yeah. Doesn't matter how many times you press that button, you come out with the same result over and over and over again. But sometimes you lose 7 trades, sometimes you lose 6, sometimes you lose 7, sometimes you lose 7, sometimes you lose 7, 5. Yeah, those 5s and those 6s are probably passes. But those 7s and those 12s, they're all fails. Yeah, still made that. But did my account survive? No. That's their edge. You'll never beat it. Never. It's all manufactured and geared to make sure that you do not win. They know what they're doing. They do maths. Trading is maths. That's all it is. Only 4% max portfolio risk. So if you want to trade 1% per trade, risk it only works if you use tight stops. If you say so. Don't quite understand what you said. Prop firms, when you make money, they make money. No, they don't. Who told you that? You need to come and do my course. When you fail the challenge, they make money. Yes. When you fail the challenge, they make money. When you pass the challenge, they make money. Yeah. They're like brokers, right? If I press the buy button now, my broker makes money. If I press the sell button now, my broker makes money. If I make money, my broker makes money. If I lose money, my broker makes money. Yeah. Do you think you should be a trader or a broker? Asking. This is the hardest job in the world, honestly. The hardest job in the world. You can train anything to do anything in the world and get knowledge. This is the only job in the world where you can study every book there is on trading and come out of it at the end of the day as a shit trader. Yeah. If you study aeronautics, aerodynamics, the controls of a Boeing 747, you become a pilot. Yeah. If you study medicine for 7 years, you become a surgeon. If you discover whatever, yeah, engineering for 4 years, come out, you're an engineer. You study trading for 20 years, you'll still blow accounts constantly. It's the only job in the world where you can be the most knowledgeable person in the room and still be shit. Honestly. Yeah, it doesn't matter how many times you press the button, The outcome is binary. Yeah, and the only way that you can make this positive is with maths. You're shit at maths, you're shit at trading. Prop firms are really good at maths. They can make it look amazing. All those add-ons, yeah? When you go to prop firms, some of these prop firms now give you these add-ons. Yeah? All the add-ons you have to pay extra for, like extra drawdown. Holding over the weekends cost extra. Why do they do that? Because they're giving you more rope to hang yourself with, and they're giving you the possibility of getting gapped out over the weekends as well. There you go. You pay us a little bit extra, and we'll give you more opportunities to blow your account. Do me a favour. Love them. It's the best marketing on the planet, honestly. They're so good at it. Right, I've got a lesson to do. So 9 o'clock for members. This morning, we are covering setting up your week, basically. So it's the first part of the economic news scalping strategy lessons. So setting up your week. I've marked it as 15 minutes. I've marked all these as 15, actually, and 45 on the end one. But these aren't actually going to be long lessons, but I am only going to do one a day. So we're just going to have this week. We're going to nail this week. But it's only going to be sort of 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, the first lesson. So it's just all about how we are going to trade the news. And to be honest, these 3 lessons are very similar in their content, but slightly different levels of detail about it. And obviously this one, I'm just going to talk non-stop about the strategies basically on Friday. So identifying opportunities, setting up your week. So it's just all about getting that preparation, that weekly routine in place to get ready for the opportunities that we have this week. And unfortunately, the week that I've picked to do this is the week we just don't have much. So I'm going to focus on Friday, Thursday, because that's all we're going to get this week. So DAX today looks like it's going to be a double stop out day. Might be a losing day today, to be honest, because if I stop out on this, there are no more trade opportunities today. And the US markets this afternoon, I think, are going to potentially be quiet. Obviously, we haven't got that opening volatility. The banks are open, but institutions are off. So we might get one of those slippage days, so we'll see. But there's an argument for not trading this afternoon. So we'll see. But, you got Trump. He'll be awake. You never know. Could you get funded, but then trade more conservatively? Yes. Yeah. And we'll cover that. Yeah. Payouts will be smaller, but you can, So the best way to make money on prop is not to trade one account aggressively. It's to trade 5 accounts conservatively. Yeah. So get as many accounts as you can over the line and drop that risk. Yeah. Because then you will struggle to blow an account. You will struggle also to make a large amount of money. Yeah. Everybody's doing prop because the people with the Lambos are going, I just got paid 25 grand. Yeah. I would have also got paid 25 grand if I'd have shorted that as well. But that has happened one day out of 50, 60 days so far. Yeah. It's not the norm. Yes, you can take high risk and make a lot of money, but they won't pay you it all because they've got payout rules in place. Yeah. If with my funded account with Take Profit Trader, for example, I'm a Take Profit Trader with Lucid, I have to get to 2,000 before I get paid. And then I can draw out everything over that 2,000. So if I'm going to go aggressive, yes, I can get to that 2,000, but I've got a 20% consistency rule. So the consistency rule is there to make sure that I can't make money from big days. Yeah, it's all geared against you, the whole thing. There is a way you can make money out of them, but you can't make money by pressing short and hoping it goes mad. And when it does go mad, they'll go, you made too much money that day, you're not having it. Yeah. It's the way it works. Read the rules. Everything in the Middle East, no trading today? Everything is Middle East, yeah. Yeah, good idea, Franco. So if this stops out today, I'm probably going to turn the EA off, like Franco. It's not worth doing. It's going to be one of those weird days today. I thought I read Lucid drop consistency rules. All right, if they have, they haven't dropped mine. They haven't dropped mine. So if they have, I'm going to have a word with them because mine... right. Okay. So there's two different types. I do Lucid Direct. So here, look, consistency rule, 20%. Yeah. If you do Lucid Test, maybe not. But the whole point of doing Lucid this is that is not the price. Yeah. It's 200 and something. It's cheaper. But because you got codes and stuff. But yeah, there's 20% consistency rule. The whole point of this is getting funded. Like I'll buy 3 of these this afternoon. Bang, I'm live with 150k today, right now. But I have to make 2 grand on each of those accounts before I can withdraw, and I can only withdraw over 2 grand. So if I get to $2,500 in profit after 8 days, which is the minimum days to pay out, and again, another good one there. Win, 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 lose, 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 win, win, win. Oh, they blew your account. The losing days in the row. Remember, sometimes we get 12, sometimes we get 5. We can't control it because the market controls that. Yeah, when you get to 2.5 grand, you can draw out a maximum of 500. So you trade for 8 days, sweating blood and tears to get to 2.5 grand profit and go, oh, this is amazing. I've made 2.5 grand. You can only have 500. It's great, but if you've got your own capital, use your own capital, because I just trade how I want to trade. I take what I want to trade when I want to take it. I'm in complete control. Anyway, that's the course that's starting next week. That's sneaky. I got the impression it was dropped from all accounts. Yeah, not from this. Yeah, they don't give you anything for free, right? This sounds too good to be true. What, you'll give me 50k? I'll give you $300 and you give me 50k? No, they're giving you 2k, but you've got to double that. Think how hard it is to double an account, right? If I gave you $2 grand account now and said, I want you to come back with 4 grand in 8 days. Do you think you could do that? Seriously. Because that's what they're asking you to do. They're giving you 2 grand, right? And they're saying, you come back with 2 grand in 8 days and we'll give you anything over that. That's it. That's the rule. That's what they're doing. Nothing more. Yeah. This thing here where everyone goes, oh, I'm going to get 100k. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're getting 3. But it says 100. No, but you can only use 3. Oh, so you should trade with the risk of 3. You don't trade with the risk of 100 because you will immediately blow it. You trade with the risk of 3, but aggressively. But to do that, you only have to do it once. To do that, you have to do it twice. When you look at this and you see how often that churns into a high number, 8 trades in a row, 9 trades in a row, 8 trades in a row, 9 trades, blah, 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 12, 10. Yeah. This is what makes them money. This is the house edge. You can't beat it. You can beat it short term. Everyone can go into a casino and go red, black, red, black, red, black and get it right. Trouble is, in a casino, you will walk out at some point. In a prop firm, you don't get to walk out. They keep you for 8 days. It's very clever. Anyway, doubling an account means risking 100% of the account. Not quite, but not far off. It's all a con. Anyway, we're going to do a course on it. How to actually get paid. You can get paid. Don't get me wrong. I've been paid plenty, but not the way that everyone's doing it. Everyone's treating it like a normal trading account. You cannot do that. That does not work. Right. So I'm back in 5 minutes on Zoom for the members. And we will do that. I'm back on Wednesday then. So next session, Wednesday members stream. And then we've got the Wednesday New York session at 2:30. And then Friday members stream and Friday New York session at 2:30. And then we got the weekly Q&A for members as well. And then rinse, repeat, carry on. So I will see you guys members wise in about 5 minutes. Rest of you, I'll be back on Wednesday afternoon. If you need anything, Discord, Telegram, I'll be in there. And yeah, have a good day. Good luck with Trump. And I'll see you next time.